The Awakening of the Chosen. On the brink of a fresh year, we sense this tangible rejuvenation, almost as if the cosmos is working in concert to lead us down an unbounded road. Every morning promises surprises that could change our fate in ways we never would have thought feasible. This is a physical expression of the potential every one of us has, not just a fleeting feeling. It is not something that occurs by accident to be present in this moment and delve into the depth of spiritual awareness. Many argue that coincidences do not occur, and to be honest, I believe there is some validity in that. We are here, all of us, because of a greater calling and a dedication to heavenly powers that lead and support us over our paths. We seem to be softly steered towards a spiritual awakening, asked to match our particular goals with this larger one. Though daunting, facing this possibility may also be rather freeing. We are on the brink of revelations that could drastically alter our perspective on the planet and our part in it. Every one of us has a secret truth waiting to be discovered. It drives us to see significance where there was simply daily grind and beyond what is seen. Saying 77 not only shows our symbolic acceptance, but also commits us to be open to the rewards the universe is willing to bestow upon us. It is a covenant between our humanity and the expanse of the universe, a vow we are ready to welcome the unknown, not a straightforward assertion. The power of a society bonded by this knowledge is almost unbounded. One cannot overestimate the kindness of soul and depth of faith of those who decide to follow this road with us. When we gather with the goal of helping one another, we build a resilient network that can last even the most trying circumstances. For me, therefore, one of the best gifts is that we are never really alone. This connection generates an unquestionable force that goes beyond the mere gathering of people in search of a shared objective. Above all, it reminds us that when we cooperate and support one another with compassion and understanding, we are stronger. We ought to not undervalue the beauty of our spiritual development, always changing. At some time in our lives, every one of us is exposed to the concept that there is more to see and know than what first greets the human sight. And the world before us opens up in amazing ways when we allow ourselves to properly investigate this concept. This is, I believe, an invitation to an adventure of personal and group discovery, a trip in which every step advances us toward a better and more unambiguous view of our own truths. Walking side by side with open hearts and sensitive minds, we become masters and pupils at the same time, and enter an endless dance of learning and teaching. This chapter of our life tests us to examine the depths of our own hearts, while also keeping our link to the great tapestry of the cosmos around us. It also forces us to gaze within and forth. Our discoveries have the ability to change not only our, but also the life of others close to us. Furthermore, amazing is how sharing this road could influence the paths of so many people. Engaging in completeness and sincerity helps us to motivate others to follow in line. Every time one of us finds a spiritual truth, we share it with the community, therefore enhancing it with fresh ideas and insights. And realizing this spiritual interconnectedness helps us to understand one fundamental fact. We are more together than we could be separately. Our strongest link is this one, which helps us to meet any obstacle. I ask that as we start this road in the new year, that we keep each other dedicated. There is no question that we will become the finest versions of ourselves, people able to really change the world if we stay receptive to these events and discoveries. To develop, share, and love constantly is, for me, the finest goal we might aim for in the upcoming year. Have you ever found yourself wondering about the abundance of spiritual and financial riches we may be able to access without even considering it? The secret of concealed richness leads us to consider the layers of our own life that have not yet come to light. Imagine learning that your name links a hidden account full with wealth. Though this concept seems like daydreaming, the actual issue is why something so remarkable remained hidden. Who put on this shroud of hiding? The causes could range from money avarice to fear of the influence this knowledge would have on your life. These insights coincide with our readiness to welcome them exactly. The cosmos selecting this specific time to unveil what has been concealed is not random. Our eyes seem to be guided to areas of our past that ought to have surfaced by a stronger power. When we think of someone close to us having concealed this gift, we have to face our weaknesses and the dynamics of trust surrounding us. Though we could feel deceived, this is also a chance for personal. Have you ever stopped to wonder why, despite all your achievements, it feels like something essential is still missing? My name is Gabriel, and I've helped countless people like you discover the true spiritual power that resides within them. And today, I want to help you. If you feel like life is passing by while something important remains out of place, maybe it's time for an awakening. My audiobook, The Path of the Chosen, was created precisely for those who have reached this point. In this audiobook, I guide you to feel that enthusiasm for living in alignment with what truly matters, knowing that every step has meaning. Together, we'll transform your fears, traumas, and frustrations into powerful strengths that propel you to a new level of growth. Leave behind the feeling of spiritual isolation and find the peace of a true, constant connection with a greater energy that has always been by your side. Instead of fighting against what you feel, you'll learn to find purpose, serenity, and self-discovery to fill your inner world. This could be the beginning of a fuller, more meaningful life. I've seen it happen for so many others, and now it's your turn. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Click on the link pinned in the first comment and begin this journey with The Path of the Chosen. This is your chance to fill what's missing and finally live the life you deserve. I'll be waiting for you there. Development and self-awareness. It's not just about what was exposed, but also about what it tells us about human ambitions and the part the cosmos plays in our path. These events force us to consider our own conception of luck and destiny and provide a great spiritual awakening. Every enigma that presents itself before us is a part of a larger divine plan if we think that everything occurs for a purpose. Here there is a crucial lesson about resilience and purpose. Such revelations frequently act as triggers for our own development, motivating us to consider how we will incorporate this new truth into our daily life. Although this tangible richness would appear to be the main focus of this story, it also serves as a metaphor for the wealth of experiences, knowledge, and love we may find when we really explore our own life. With this incident, what is the universe attempting to convey? Maybe we have to be constantly aware of the gifts, even ones we may not first notice, that surround us. Realizing this wealth often calls for a change of viewpoint, wherein we let ourselves look beyond the present and investigate the field of possibilities. Even if anything appears to have been kept in the dark, the disclosure itself should make us appreciate the chance to raise awareness of ourselves. It reminds us that, under the direction of forces often beyond our knowledge, we are always in a process of learning and development. You have to strike a balance between hope and reflection as you negotiate this era of learning. The disclosed blessings challenge us to examine not only the outside influence, but also the way we form our inner self to get such changes, thereby adding a fresh dynamic into our life. This means that the secret of hidden wealth is about the blossoming of a new spiritual and personal stage, not just about worldly riches. The universe tests every one of us to see beyond appearances and discover the core that really counts, therefore fostering peace and security. Every stride we make toward this greater knowledge changes our own story and guides us toward the destiny always ours. We are encouraged to see beyond and grasp it as a potent emblem of divine justice and cosmic balance as we tilt toward the disclosure of an account beyond the simple financial component. This result goes beyond simple accidental discovery. It is a holy reminder that the cosmos does not forget in its infinite wisdom. How many times do we feel inadequate, insignificant, or out of place, unable to fulfill the aspirations we so carefully tend to? This event is evidence that, independent of all the challenges and hardships, we have always been under constant observation by the divine. Divine justice shows us that everything meant for us is not forever beyond our grasp, thereby helping us to rebuild our confidence. This insight covers us in a personal reevaluation aura. For a long time, every sense of powerlessness may have been just a mirror of cosmic designs not yet fulfilled. Know that the whispers you heard are guarantees from the universe that your blessings are on this road, ready to be revealed, even if at any moment you felt you were headed towards something better and encountered seeming insurmountable obstacles. Embracing the changes that emerge today as a modernization of the energies around us ready to vibrate in accordance with the universe depends on realizing these emotions as divine messages. Declaring "I claim my blessings" is a potent ritual of aligning with the riches meant for us, not just a personal assertion. Making this declaration helps us to not just express our objectives for the universe to hear. We are essentially grounding this truth into our being so that every cell in our body could vibrate with the frequency of grace and success. Overcoming the subconscious obstacles that can keep us from fully embracing what is ours by divine right depends on this act of claiming. This declaration is a pledge to live totally, dedicated to our ultimate truth. This discovery brings about repair akin to a soul salvament. It helps us to understand that the challenges we have encountered during our life were not in vain. Rather, they were required actions to equip our soul to welcome this plenty. Every difficulty, every tear, every hope revived was a cosmic dance designed to mold us. Now, armed with this fresh information, we are more suited to keep on our road with renewed confidence, knowing that the powers controlling the universe also work non-stop on our favor. We open fresh doors of insight and knowledge by accepting this divine justice and allowing it to pervade our life. It's about adopting a condition of being that lets us view the world with eyes full of humility and thanks, not just about getting a blessing. It is an invitation to actively help to shape our reality, realizing that what appeared unattainable a few years ago is now within our grasp. Our life then becomes living evidence of the strength of faith and the highest love shielding and guiding us. Every action we do and every choice we make fits a greater image, a finely spun tapestry of fate and desire. This path of inquiry and validation of our benefits urges us to show others our light. We become increasingly conscious of the need of spreading this good energy outside of ourselves so as to influence the life of others and enable their own discovery of their own richness. When we gather in a group effort at evolution, we create a beautiful surroundings and mutual development. Integration of this divine justice and restoration raises not just our own experiences, but also the whole community united by spiritual ties, much as the tide rises and lifts all the boats around. The last lesson this insight imparts to us is the need of never questioning the voice calling us to something better. We have to keep in mind that unseen hands are gently guiding us, even when the solutions are not obvious or when we feel powerless. The wonder of life is its limitless ability to surprise us, to provide us pleasures and provocations that always mold us, until we are ready to show what was once latent. We are here ready to dance. This is the constant song of life. The obstacles encountered were clearly among the most difficult ones along the road. Every difficulty seemed like an unreachable mountain to scale, accompanied by a sense of hopelessness and loneliness. Many times, in the stillness of the night, you found yourself speaking to the divine in search of solutions to an apparently never-ending injustice. Remember that your labor and sacrifice did not go unreappreciated, even if everything around appeared to be still in these alone hours. Observes each tear, feels the weight of each prayer made in a quiet voice, in a place of vulnerability and hope, and thus gains more force. The words of Galatians 6:9 hold promise, that of light at the end of the tunnel. She imparts to us the lesson that we cannot let discouragement overpower us when we do good, even if the road is full with hurdles. For those who stick to their faith, we have to believe that a harvest is only around. Although timing is not something we can exactly control, when the moment is right, our endurance and patience pay off. The concrete manifestation of a fulfilled heavenly promise is this gift that shows up in your life today. It is a reaction to your commitment and evidence that divine justice works in ways we sometimes cannot see. I recall instances when the efforts of people trying to hide its brightness made the darkness appear unbreakable. These times allow the unseen power of the cosmos to keep on its relentless behind-the-scenes job. The mark of an indelible spirit is to create a road where none appeared to be. Now is a triumph not just over outside obstacles, but also against inner ones resulting from uncertainty and anxiety. This victory is evidence that the most strong component of human will is the effort carried out with love and commitment. The cosmos was really spinning a story of revelation and rebirth when everything looked to be falling apart and prospects were dark and recognition seemed an unreachable objective. Fundamentally, divine justice catches the complexity of life and helps us to see that every difficult experience has within it seeds of learning and development. This leads to a fresh view of life, wherein we see that every wrong endured may be turned into a stage for a new start. It is time for you to assert your space and boldly and firmly establish your existence. Living this experience is a gift that speaks to our sense of direction and contentment especially. It is a communion with the holy, therefore underlining the link between reward and hardship. His account of conquering transcends a simple success tale and serves as motivation for those on such routes. Other people's life reflect this testimony, which motivates them not to give up even in cases when everything appears impossible. Invisible strands of suffering and resiliency bind us all, and by sharing your path you help others to find light. Declared triumph goes beyond a mere confirmation of justice and healing. It reminds us strongly that we have guiding and strengthening assistance from a force. Reiterating your own trust in your capacity to overcome hardship creates doors to a life of significance and satisfaction. Once seeming insurmountable obstacles become pillars of a rebuilt hope edifice. Divine justice tells us in every personal triumph that we are constantly being directed toward the attainment of our bigger destiny. When we experience betrayal, especially when it comes from unanticipated sources, we are confronted with one of the most intense challenges to our spiritual development. Disappointment from those we trust tests our foundations and forces us to rethink what loyalty and love mean. Maybe at your most vulnerable times, someone close to you decided to keep this secret riches under cover of jealousy or greed. Such events serve as a sobering reminder that the human heart may be a large maze of motives and intents, often buried even from our own view. Still, there is a heavenly light that never flickers for every shade thrown by treachery. Divine justice is a guarantee for eternity, a guarantee that the Creator will see no evil deed go unpackled. Isaiah 54:17 guarantees us that no weapon developed against us will be successful. This reality helps us to believe that we are continually being cared for and that our path cannot be permanently veered off by the deeds of others. Knowing that a stronger power is constantly working on our favor, even if we cannot personally perceive its effects, helps us to traverse over valleys of uncertainty and doubt. Ironically, the evil forces that seek to damage us may also be accelerators of our spiritual development and strength. During this period of healing, a special chance presents itself to clarify our knowledge and guarantee our immunity from these bad energy. We must learn to tell the difference between those whose interests are in self-benefit and those who walk with us with just intentions. Betrayal may be a turning moment that motivates us to establish strong limits and cherish the intuition that quietly directs us. Knowing that nothing, not even the most secret, cannot stay forever concealed from divine disclosure, we choose to unite with light and truth at this junction. Thinking back on these encounters helps us to grasp the emotional complexity of human relationships. These challenges certainly leave scars on us, but they also nourish us with fresh compassion and insight. Divine justice reminds us that we are here to learn and grow. It acts with accuracy and intent and is not hurried, and we too become stronger, more resilient, just like a tree does by bucking the wind. Every lesson we acquire and every suffering conquered creates a fresh chapter of our destiny, written in an ink of thankfulness and illumination. Entering this area of healing and recovery, helps us to realize that, in spite of hardship, it is we who decide how to allow these events shape us. We are always questioning our identity and our direction in life. We become builders of our own reality, ready to welcome light in all its forms by releasing the bonds of the past and orienting ourselves toward a more fairness. We begin to recognize that the consoling presence of the divine in our life always surfaces, shielding us and pointing us in the direction of our actual purpose, even if the outside world seems to be erratic. When we come across treachery from somewhere we least would expect it, the experience may be debilitating. But it is in this very vulnerable area that we are urged to see and welcome the strong force of divine truth showing up to illuminate us. Especially in times when everything appears covered in gloom, we frequently wonder if good will triumph. Notwithstanding a lot of unknowns, the answer is a clear yes. David's narrative reminds us of this victory really well. His faith gave him bravery even in the face of the most challenging betrayals. You will also find strength on your path. No strategy, however well coordinated to conceal its wealth, can stop the unavoidable development of justice. The cosmos seems to be on continual alert, always ready to step in and straighten energies in a fair manner. Knowing that nothing will really stay hidden, just as in Luke 8:17, helps one to find consolation because there is a stronger power working non-stop to expose the truth. And this marks a turning point in your path, wherein everything held in the shade now gets the required illumination. Revelation is evidence of the overwhelming force of divine justice as much as a human triumph. Attempts to veer off course and disguise his actual internal and external riches turned out to be fruitless. Once seemingly strong, it melts under the unrelenting reality. This is realizing you are meant to flourish and completely express your potential. This means of expression and discovery process is very transforming. When at last we discover what is properly ours, we experience a rejuvenated clarity and direction. The agony of betrayal is now a tool for learning that will help us to realize our purpose rather than a weight. This awakening sets one on a spiritual growing path. It calms the spirit and increases your will to lead a life consistent with justice and truth. This increased power helps one to see formerly seemingly insurmount obstacles in a fresh perspective. On the road to spiritual and personal satisfaction, they start to become essential phases. Every moment of uncertainty, every instance of doubt, becomes a point of development demonstrating that the actual expression of your divine calling is just starting to appear. This moving trip explores the shores of resiliency and unflinching belief. The knowledge that everything promised would come true motivates continuous change directed towards more ambitious goals. This is a chance to extend your view of what is feasible as well as to assert what is really yours. Accepting this fact as yours opens you a channel of manifestation for an almost endless universe. Its turning into action opens the path for fresh experiences and revelations. Once unreachable objects are now easily available and within reach. This cooperation with your inner calling transforms the terrain of your life and gives your inner and outside environment new colors and meanings. Once seen just as suffering and betrayal, this becomes a potent driver of spiritual and personal development. This flash of insight provides a much more comprehensive and unambiguous viewpoint, tying every aspect of your path together with an unbroken thread of love and knowledge. Moving forth with this new knowledge, you start to give your path clarity and stability. Realizing your actual potential entails keeping up a self-discovery and self-acceptance atmosphere. More in line with your divine purpose, each step combines to create a symphony of whole and rich existence, ready to be performed and shared with the planet. Using them as instruments for both personal and spiritual growth, life has a certain way of educating us via challenges. Though full of difficulties and roadblocks, your path has not been useless. Every challenge you encounter turns into a spur for your development, profoundly and meaningfully shapes you. The strong words of 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 remind us that we are not destroyed even under pressure from all sides. This resilience is evidence of the underlying power we usually lacked knowledge of. The most challenging events in life help us to see the more general goal for which we are here. Thinking about people like 𖣔, who went through many hardships and humiliations, yet did not lose his faith, inspires me. Rising above all the challenges he faced, he stayed strong in his belief that he had a bigger destiny. Her narrative reminds us that while adversity is not the end, rather, it may be the tool for our development and prosperity. You are also being asked to perceive every challenge as a unique chance for development and fortitude to transcend difficulty. Every tear dropped and every sacrifice given had value. Designed to bloom when the moment is perfect, they are seeds sown in the rich soil of your life. Every suffering and challenge promises justice, healing, and finally serenity. Looking back and seeing how much we have conquered helps us to appreciate the depth of our own perseverance. Lived experiences not only toughen us, but also educate us and provide fresh clarity and direction on our road. Your established resilience will help you to get the strength required to assert what the universe has in store for you. This is the moment to recover the heavenly riches always properly yours. It is waiting for you, ready to be welcomed with fresh thankfulness and bravery. Claiming your actual self and enjoying this richness requires being receptive to the benefits ready to enter your life. It's about letting your inner light blossom brilliantly so that it not only guides your own road, but also motivates everyone around you. Each of us is evidence of our own capacity to pull through difficult circumstances and provide live models of faith and tenacity. Every event teaches the skill of living completely, with a mind tuned to the prospect of constantly reaching more and a heart in line with love. His walk is evidence of faith that motivates everyone it crosses. Sharing your tales and experiences gives those still negotiating their own storms hope and a fresh viewpoint. We realize we are not alone when we find ourselves mirrored in others and vice versa. Driven by a bigger purpose constantly present and will lead us securely, we are united in this dance of life, though not always obvious. Accepting that the greatest good is continually developing in our life will help us to open ourselves to a future in which personal satisfaction, serenity, and wealth are not only feasible, but also natural.